Take 3, is it? I don't know. I feel like we've been talking a lot about this. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. Welcome to the third take of reviewing the clove+hallow Sunrise Pressed Pigment eyeshadow palette. So in today's video, we're going to be chatting a little bit about this little beauty here. So we're going to be reviewing the Sunrise Pressed Pigment palette from clove+hallow. I will show you some swatches. I will show you a quick demo of how I use this eyeshadow palette, and I'll tell you a little bit about it, of what you need to know. If you have been eyeing it and you're wondering if it's worth it or not, then this video is definitely going to be for you. So just stay tuned and let's get right into it. Obviously, let's address first things first. That's my microphone. That's why our audio is amazing. So we're going to be forgiving that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the eyeshadow palette. I wanted to address packaging, I wanted to address price, and what you need to know about the brand, and then what you can actually expect. So first, let's talk about packaging. It comes in, like, the packaging is cardboard, and then like there's basically a little plastic film inside of it. So if you open it up, obviously there you can tell that there's no mirror in there, and that was actually conscious. That was a conscious decision that the company made, because they wanted it to be completely recyclable once you're finished with it. If they added in the mirror, I believe they couldn't have done that. So there is that. There's like your first like little downside. If you're looking for an eyeshadow palette that has a mirror in it, this one is not going to be it. Now, clove+hallow, if you're not familiar with the company, they are a newer vegan, cruelty-free company. They're making all of their products with 15 ingredients or less, and they are all less, and they're like, all of their ingredients are PETA certified, and they're organic, which if you're looking at, so this is going to be a hard comparison to any of the conventional beauty eyeshadow palettes. And the reason why is because this just rises above in so many different ways. It's not just that it delivers on, well, first of all, on a small compact packaging, it also delivers on price, it delivers also on quality, but then you're also getting like just such huge value for your money, because you're not putting any chemicals in your body when you have when you're wearing eyeshadows. So that part is going to be like one of your biggest draws, I think, for most of you. Now let's talk about the shadows. So it comes with, well, first of all, with price, you're looking at $34 US, and that is if you purchase it through clove+hallow's website directly. And you can also save a little bit of money if you buy the eyeshadow palette along with a couple of other products. So they usually end up adding in a couple of extra products, and then they give you a bit of a discount. You can also get discounts and things like that if you are collecting their rewards points and whatnot. So there is still a way where you can still save money. But $34 US for a small little eyeshadow palette like this, if I'm comparing this to something like the Smashbox, like those tiny little guys, I think you're actually getting way more product here. I can also just list like what you're getting per gram if you're interested. I don't think they have it listed on their website. I don't think they do. But anyways, let's look at the shadows. That's what most of us are caring about. So we're looking at 6 shadows in total. Out of that, you have the entire top row is going to be your lighter shades, and then the lower row is going to be more of your darker shades. We have 2 matte colors, and then the rest are all shimmers. And out of the shimmers, you have like a champagne color. You have sort of a light rose gold color, your true rose gold, your gold, like your yellow gold, and then your light brown and your darker shading brown. So this is your chocolate brown. So I will insert a swatch for you guys so you can take a look. But all of as far as quality is concerned, the best that I can compare this to would be, it's sort of like a happy medium between Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows and the, I almost said the clove+hallow, but no, the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, as well as the Urban Decay Naked palette. So it's really similar. Like, the way that they swatch and how buttery they are, they're not nearly as buttery as the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, but like pigment wise, they're right up there. So if you know what I mean. And but really, like with everything else, I can't really compare this to anything else really, because this is the first palette that I bought that is more in the green and non-toxic beauty realm. I am slowly looking to shift out of a lot of the eyeshadow palettes that I have. One thing that okay, so this is just my personal critique, but not really, because I mean, it tells you right there that all of your shades are going to be in the warm tone. And I mean, a lot of you will be gravitating towards this because it's a warm toned palette. Personally, for me, I usually like to kind of juggle between warm and cool tones. I would love to see that from them in the future at some point. If they would come up with a similar shadow, I would love to see them come up with like a similar eyeshadow palette that has more cooler tones or cooler and warmer tones. They've done a wonderful job with a couple of really light shadows, and this is beautiful because you can use them in the inner corner. You can also use them as an all over eyelid color, but then also, and you will see this in the demo as well, you can also use these as actual highlighters, which a lot of you out there are using already. And then you can use these two guys as bronzers. So they do double up as your face product as well. And it's not going to be like clogging your pores or anything like that. I have used the darker shades as bronzer and it blends away beautifully. It doesn't matter if I'm putting it on, if I'm blending it on top of a liquid foundation or a pressed powder foundation, it kind of blended about the same. I will take you over to the demo in a couple of moments so that you can take a look at how it performs. Eyeshadow, like the shadows stay on all day long. It doesn't really fade away. It doesn't really, like, you know how sometimes like if you get eyeshadows from the drugstore and then some of those shadows, like the pigmentation is there when you apply it, but then it sort of wears away by the end of the day with like the oils and the sweat and whatever that your skin creates. This does not do that. This actually stays put. Once you put it on, it stays put. It does not smudge. So I really appreciate that. I have put it through quite a bit. Like I have worn it during like hot yoga classes. And so like I have put it through like the different elements. And so far, I have no complaints about it. I think that for the price point and what you pay and the ingredients that they are using, I think that you're going to be very happy with it. Now, is it a necessary for everyone? I think that for most of you, you will be gravitated towards a warm toned palette just because it's easy, it's familiar. Most people are familiar with light shadows and they are familiar with you know, the browns and the taupey browns. So in that regard, I think it's going to be a lot more wearable for most of you than if this was a cool tone palette. My personal wish would be that the mid-toned shades, that the lit shades, there would be a larger variety of that, but that's just my personal opinion. And I would love to see way more matte shades because they're actually pulling off the matte shades like perfectly. I do think that like with the darkest shade, you sort of have to work with it a little bit more so you can build it up. But like I said, like you will just see it in the demo of how it performs. Overall, my thoughts are, is it worth it? Absolutely. I think that when you buy it, I think you're going to love it. And I think that it's going to deliver on what you're asking it to do. So I really wanted to just film this for you guys because I think that especially if this is a little bit different than, you know, like a foundation review where really you're looking at the wear test and that sort of thing. Here it's more like, is the pigmentation there? Is it going to be blendable? Is it worth the money? Because really, especially if you're in North America, if you're in Canada, then the only way that you can get this is if you order it online. They don't actually carry it in any of the stores so far. At least I personally haven't seen it. If any of you are in Canada and you know where you can get I was thinking that maybe Detox Market, but they actually don't have it. The best way that you can really get it is if you order it through clove+hallow. At that point, I would just bundle up with a couple of other products because by that point you're already paying for the shipping anyway. And For the price point and what you're paying for, I think it's absolutely worth it. If you're wearing eyeshadows regularly, then you're going to be using this. It's very easy to wear colors, and it's totally worth it for what you're paying for. To the face, so I'm actually going to be using the clove+hallow palette, and I wanted to use these two colors for the bronzer, which I never do. So I thought, why not? I'll just use, this is like a contour brush from e.l.f. And I'm showing you this in like natural light, so you can actually see. And for blush, I'll be using the Hydra Tint from clove+hallow, and this is in the shade Georgia. Look how nice and glowy it is. Okay, now for highlighter, I've been meaning to actually use this shade as a highlighter. You know what, let's mix these two. Okay, for the crease, I'm going to be going into the lighter brown shade. Why don't we use this rose gold? And honestly, I'm just going to be using my fingers. And let's just tap on a little bit of the highlight. I feel like I do the exact same looks all the time, so I think I'm gonna leave it as is. No, you know what? We're gonna go back into the really dark shade. Part of me kind of wants to use a liner, so I'll just use like a brown liner, see how that goes. Okay, and then let's run through that with the same brown that we just used.
This is all I wanted to share with you guys. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you have tried anything from clove+hallow and if you have tried the eyeshadow palette, and what were your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did it stay on long enough? Did you enjoy it? Did you compare it to any of the other brands? What were your thoughts? I would love to hear from you. I hope you guys are having yourself a wonderful day. And as usual, if you are new here, then welcome to the community. I'm so glad that you have shared this time and space with me. I'm so grateful for you. If you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. You can give me a thumbs up, you can subscribe to the channel, and that way you can also get notified every time I release a new video. And we chat here about 2-3 times a week here.
We chat here about 2 to 3 times a week, and each week we're chatting about either green beauty or zero waste, or how you can live a more mindfully driven life. So if that sounds good to you, then consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the community. And in the meanwhile, I hope you have yourself a wonderful day, and keep shining, you guys, because you're just so much more powerful than you think. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye.